Assalamualaikum and good day. I bid to Dr. Norashikin, lecturer for the course of Introduction to Psychology, and our fellow friends. Today, our group, which is Group 6, will be presenting about the issues and the problems that related to our given topics, which is learning. Before we get started, let me first introduce our group members. Our group members consist of 5 students, which are Aiman bin Dahlan, Mirza Sabrina binti Muhammad Salmi, Nurul Ain Syahrima binti Joseph, Siti Sarwana binti Muhammad Zakri, and last but not least, our 5th member, Siti Zulaika binti Ahmad Nazri. In this moment, we would also like to give our appreciation to Dr. Norashikin and the course SHMY 1013 to give this opportunity for us to learn more about the issues and problems related to learning in our everyday life. With that, I say thank you. Now move on to the main discussion. I will pass to Siti Sarwana to begin the presentation.
First of all, we are required to identify 3 issues that are related to learning in any movie or drama and provide solutions for each issue. For this assignment, we choose Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha as our reference drama. Learning in psychology is defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior that is brought by experience. From the moment we are born, we are wired to learn. Based on the drama, we agree to choose common issues such as emotional problems and social problems instead of learning disorders. This is to prove that psychology helps to solve various problems that we face in our daily life, whether they are minor or major matter. We use the learning techniques as a solutions for the issues that we found in the drama.
Hi, I, Aiman, will now start to tell about the synopsis of our drama. Our drama goes with the title of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. The story is about a female dentist named Yoon Hae-jin who loses her job due to some incident in her workplace. The incident is actually about her action of whistleblowing that she made to the head of the clinic for his misconduct. Then because of the action, she was isolated by her colleagues and she felt really sad about it. Due to that, she decided to leave her job and open a new dental clinic of her own. However, it is not that simple to find a place for her new clinic. So she embarks on a trip to the last place she went with her mother, which is the village of Gongjin, to get a fresh air for her mind. There, she meets with the villagers and luckily left a good impression to them. Because of this, the villagers told her that she can open the new clinic here if she ever wanted to. After giving some thoughts, she decided to open it there. Unfortunately, she does not realize how different a life in a city and a village can be. Now she needs to adapt to the new environment of her new living place that she is not familiar with. Fortunately, there is a young man with the name Hong Dong-sik to help her in making her life comfortable and peaceful life as it can be. So, one of the issues that we will be discussing is the adapting to a new place. Next, I will pass the presentation to Mirza Sabrina to let her continue in more details regarding this issue.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mirza Sabrina. I will continue to present about our first issue, which is adaptation. Based on the drama, the character who played heroine named Yoon Hae-jin is a dentist living in a big city, so she moved into the seaside village of Gongjin to open her own dental clinic. She felt uncomfortable living in the village during the first few days moving into the place because of the villager behavior who are busybodies and lack of hygiene.
계기에 이 김치잔치를 요래 싸서 먹어봐. 참 맛있다니까. 해봐. 해. 응? 왜죠?
몇 가지 있긴 한데.
어머. 말씀하셔. 당장 해결해 드릴게.
아, 그래요? 그러면 다용도실 바닥 타일 좀 교체해 주세요.
왜? 어디가 깨졌어?
아니, 깨진 건 아니고 실금이 좀 갔는데 미관상 좀 보기가 그래요. 아, 그리고 방충망에 구멍이 나 있거든요. 크기가 새끼 손톱 반의 반 정도이긴 한데 목이나 날파리 정도는 좀 쉽게 들락날락 할 수 있는 크기라서 조금 그래요. 그 횟집의 생선 팥이잖아요. 굽는 방식을 좀 고려해 보실 필요성이 있는 것 같아요. 지나가다가 생선 냄새가 너무 심하게 나더라고요. 제가 또 비린내를 좀... 저번에 갔는데 찾는 물건이 없어서 그냥 왔어요.
아니, 뭐가 없었어요? 아니, 우리 슈퍼가 공진에서 물건 제일 많은데?
샴푸인데 그게 좀 고급 라인이라 아마 시골에는 안 들어올 거예요. 아니, 치과 홍보 좀 될까 싶어서. 근데 괜히 왔어.
왜? 영 체질이 안 맞지?
야, 말도 마. 먼지 풀풀 나는 마당에서 고기 썰고 국 끓이고 시끄럽고. 거기다가 할머니들은 왜 그렇게 음식을 손으로 먹이니?
야, 꼭 윤혜진이 싫어하는 거 종합 세트 같네.
그러니까. 다 마음에 안 들어. 서울에 있고 괜히 왔어.
So, what is adaptation? Psychological adaptation is changes in cognitive and behavioral function to survive in a certain environment. Behaviorism explains certain behavior as conditioned responses. However, cognitivism claims that this behavior is a result of a psychological adaptation that creates a desire for that behavior. Adaptation problems arise when we experience pressure from the environment. So, learning can help us to adopt new behavior that help us to cope with our constantly changing environment. The solution that we come out to tackle the issue is by using classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a learning procedure that involves behavioral mechanism where we react to a circumstance observably with the underlying unconscious processes. It also refers to a learning method that links nature stimulus with a stimulus that naturally produce an outcome, and after several pairing, the nature stimulus now also produce an outcome. So how classical conditioning can be applied to address the issue? We need to add a stronger stimuli, which is we add a stimuli that come from the village itself, and it must something that can make her happy. For example, Heijin would relate to her crush Hong Dushi that live in Gongjin, which make her happy. After several days living in Gongjin, while engaging with Hong Dushi at the same time, she slowly started to feel comfortable living in the village. As a result, she could perceive the village as something that can make her happy. In conclusion, classical conditioning helps us to adjust our behavior to a desired one.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ayan Sharima and I'll be explaining about the second issue, which is about trauma. It is related to the hero of this K-drama in Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, which is Hong Du-sik. In this scene, we can see that the hero is sharing his childhood memory with the colleague Yoon Hae-jin. She asks Lucy whether he enjoys football or not. He said that during his youth, he liked playing football, but now he does not watch or play football anymore because of the trauma he had. His grandfather died when he went out to watch the World Cup, and he blamed himself for what happened. From this, we can know that Lucy experienced trauma due to the loss of his loved one.
지금도 축구 좋아해?
아니, 지금은 안 해. 그리고 안 봐.
왜?
축구 때문에. 아니, 나 때문에 할아버지가 돌아가셨거든. 심장마비였어. 너무 늦게 발견했고, 내가 월드컵 응원한다고 밖에 놀러 가지만 않았어도.
According to APA Dictionary of Psychology, trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event like an accident, rape, or natural disaster. It happened due to a lot of factors such as bullying, sexual harassment, being kidnapped, or sudden loss of loved ones. Trauma also has a long-term effect on someone's well-being, and if it does not decrease in severity, severity, it can cause a mental health disorder like post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD. Someone who experienced trauma may have symptoms like feeling fear, sadness, guilt, and may find it difficult to cope with how they feel. I have come up with a solution for this issue, which is through counter-conditioning in systematic desensitization form. From the principles of classical conditioning, counter-conditioning is a type of therapy that replaces an uncomfortable emotional response with a stimulus with more pleasant. From what's stated by Ray Paul, it is an evidence-based therapy that approach combines relaxation techniques with gradual exposure to assist in slowly overcoming the phobia. In systematic desensitization form, the person who experienced trauma needs to learn master relaxation techniques, and then you need to create a list of your fear, rank them, and try to expose yourself to what you fear. That is the explanation for the solution. The solution can be applied to the situation in this scene. Hondo Sik could watch or play football with people with who he was comfortable. The person who makes him comfortable will create a positive response by patting or calming him when he reacts anxiously to a stimulus or the fear. Yoon Hae-jin is the person who he is comfortable with, can make the guest cheer when he is with her to overcome the fear. By doing this in a repetition of action, he could change as he perceives football. We conclude that the counter-conditioning in systematic desensitization form is a good technique for someone who had trauma. That's all for me. Thank you.
Now, let's move on to the third issue, which is discrimination. The character of Yoon Hae-jin is a realist and fussy when it comes to her surrounding and the local community. From the scene showed that Yoon Hae-jin is discriminating against Shiv Hong when someone said that they will be perfect together. However, she said that he don't deserve her because he illegally employed in compared to her, who is a dental surgeon and have her own dental clinic. Therefore, due to her personality, she assumed that they are not a perfect match just because they have a different social position.
솔직히 우린 좀 아니잖아. 홍 반장이랑 나랑은 소셜 포지션이 다르잖아.
소셜 포지션?
사람은 비슷한 환경일수록 잘 맞는다는 말 들어봤지? 가치관이랑 라이프 스타일도 비슷하고 아무래도 부딪히는 일이 적을 테니까. 근데 우리는 좀... 객관적으로 나랑 홍 반장이라니 진짜 말도 안 돼.
피곤했는데 객관적으로 정신이 번쩍 드네. 사람들은 홍 반장이 아깝다던데.
나 진짜 이 공진 사람들. 아니 팔이 안으로 굽는다지만 진짜 너무하네. 나 의사야. 치대 나온 몸이라고.
홍 반장은 서울대 나왔어.
뭘 나와?
서울대 나왔다고 홍 반장.
뻥치지 마.
진짠데? 너는 뭐 안 보는 게 있어? 얼굴, 키, 학벌, 직업 전부 다 따지잖아.
아니 뭐
So what is discrimination? Discrimination is the unfair treatment of people and groups based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, and also sexual orientation. Even at a very young age, children quickly learn the difference between boy and girl. But the value we place on different categories are learned from our parents, our friends, and the observation we make about how the world works. And often, discrimination stems from fear and also misunderstanding. A lot of cases nowadays that indicates discrimination happen in the learning sector. And this is one of the biggest issues that certain students are facing. Students perceive discrimination is often defined as being treated unfairly or negatively by their surrounding because of one racial and ethnic background. Discrimination is frequently occurs when a false impression about a group or individuals is established. It's based on a lack of knowledge generated by a lack of awareness of various cultures, peoples, and also practices. When students are mistreated and discriminated against because of who they are, it can give a negative impact on their mental health, self-esteem, and also academic achievement. So one of the interventions that could be implemented in order to unravel this discrimination problem is by changing cognition and motivation by educating the heroine about discriminating and giving her the exposure of repercussion to the people that discriminated. In this context, the people who surround Yoon Hae-jin should reprimand her for having that kind of behavior because this is not an healthy behavior. Hence, the heroine should learn to respect other people in all aspects. People surrounding her should also assist all kind of family in feeling included and support her attitude to respect others, appreciating distinction, equality, diversity, and fair treatment.
Therefore, she should adopt multicultural perspective that acknowledge and respect variation rather than pretending not to notice disparities across groups. Furthermore, another solution that could be implemented that is related to learning is by using cognitive learning. Observational learning is categorized as one of the connected learning that can be defined as learning from other people's action, observing and mimicking another person's behavior, attitudes, and or emotional expression. For example, the kids grow up and learn how their parents manage their own money and how their parents treat elderly. They observe what their parents do and it somehow gives them exposure about how those things are working. So, the same goes for this discrimination issue. Parents should use this strategy to teach their children about the diversity that exists among individuals of races, social backgrounds, ethnicity, or other characteristics. Hence, by demonstrating cross-group friendship for their children, parents might help normalize them. And this may seem unnecessary, but children's racial attitudes are more closely linked to the racial mix of their parents' social circle. Therefore, they will learn on how to respect and appreciate the diversity and the uniqueness of each person.
In conclusion, we cannot deny the fact that analysis of psychology can always be explored in any daily life situation. What it means, psychology is such major subfield which are closely related in humans' life. Learning is also crucial to our existence in order to acquire necessary knowledge and skills that will help to achieving goals. It has been shown that psychological studies play a significant part in helping humans to solve various problems in life. Last but not least, psychological learning approaches are very useful and easy to use to address any decision-making issues such as motivation, learning, and attitude.